Welcome to Conversations with Friends, a podcast where we encounter people through conversation and story. My name is Fernando Enriquez, and one of my favorite stories is of a time where I was in Rome and something quite funny happened to me. I was sitting down at the table eating breakfast with some friends, and the night before, I had not slept at all. In fact, I was with a smaller group of us who had walked around to the seven major basilicas all that night and had just gotten back to the hotel from said walk. At which point, as we were eating, one of the friends at the table scooped back in his chair, and while I found it somewhat strange, I decided to ask him why he had done so. Had I said something? Had I done something? Had any of us done something? I didn't know. There was a window right behind where he was, and he said, "Oh no, I just needed the sunlight." And it conjured in my mind the image of a sunflower. Nothing particularly interesting within itself, except that at that image, I started to laugh. First to chuckle, and then to burst out laughing very, very much. To the point where I began to cry a bit, and then afterward to not breathe, or breathe very sporadically, which in the experience of laughter had happened before, so that was all part of it, and I thought, okay, soon it will be over. And then it wasn't. Very soon, I began to feel the muscles in my cheeks get tense and sore, and I could not stop laughing. I could not, for the life of me, stop or control even my laughter, such that I couldn't close my mouth. Now this began to scare me, and I tried to signal to my friends for help. I lightly slapped my cheeks with my hands, and just kind of between laughter, I would say, "My cheeks hurt, my cheeks hurt," to which now the entire table was laughing along with me. They just found my laugh hysterical, and even more so with the gestures that I was making. After a while of this happening, and realizing I was still in pain, I still wasn't breathing normally, that in short order, I was going to faint. And there wasn't anything that I could do to communicate this to my friends, such that they would have to see me faint in my chair, or I don't know what. And I thought, well, no, there has to be something else. But soon I resigned myself to the fact that no, I couldn't think of anything else. Until I remembered, for whatever reason, someone at one point had shown me, if ever you're hyperventilating, or someone else is, instruct them, or do this yourself, put your head between your knees. I never quite understood why, but at that moment, I figured I have nothing to lose. This is close enough to hyperventilation. Why not? And so I put my head between my knees, just enough to be able to breathe again. And not just breathe again, but it calmed the laughter down enough to where I was able to close my mouth a little bit, and so some of the soreness subsided. To this day, my friends and I, we all remember that, and we remember that as the sunflower story. And again, while I believe it to be because of the sleep deprivation, certainly it does make for an interesting story, and I particularly hold that memory dear, not only for the laughter that it generates even today, but also because that trip in its entirety was in fact the reason that I now to this day enjoy travel. I enjoyed that trip so much. It taught me so much that I wanted to continue. I guess with that trip, I caught the bug, is what you can say. And also, I learned that there are so many things to be discovered outside of where one lives. There are so many things of culture to be discovered. And also, the very amazing reality of the people around us, that everyone has these types of stories, has these types of experiences. And through conversation, we get to hear them. And to a certain extent, I suppose you can say, we also get to experience them. We get to experience them as they themselves remember it. That's what I hope to do in this podcast, is to talk with friends, to sit down with my friends, and to encounter the people that they are through conversations, so much of the silly as for the serious, but also to hear their stories and to realize, perhaps a little more so, the amazing people that they are. I certainly, for my part, have many other stories, but I'd much rather listen to theirs. So, if you'd like to, please join me as we discover the amazing people around us and the stories they can share with us.